Elizabeth Morris Lally Weymouth, July 3, 1943 to September 29, 2025, was more than a journalist. She was a woman who lived with courage, intellect, and an unshakable commitment to truth. Known as a senior associate editor of the Washington Post and once the special diplomatic correspondent for Newsweek magazine, she carried forward the powerful journalistic tradition of her family while leaving her own indelible mark on history. With a career defined by fearless interviews, a personal life touched by both triumphs and heartbreak, and a legacy of strength, Lally Weymouth's story shines with emotion and purpose. A legacy of heritage and early life. Born on July 3, 1943, in Washington, D.C., Lally Weymouth came into a family that held the weight of American journalism on its shoulders. She was the firstborn child of Catherine Graham and Philip Graham, both giants in publishing. Her grandmother, Agnes Meyer, carried with her German Lutheran roots, while her father, Philip Leslie Graham, hailed from Terry, South Dakota. Her upbringing was steeped in the world of newspapers and influence, but beneath the prestige lay moments of profound difficulty. Her father's tragic death by suicide in 1963, just before her junior year at Radcliffe College, left a wound that shaped her resilience and perspective. Despite this heartbreak, she pressed on, completing her studies at Radcliffe, graduating cum laude in American history and literature. It was a turning point, proof that even in sorrow, her will to endure and succeed remained unbroken. Finding her path in journalism. Lally began her career in 1968 with the Bedford-Stuyvesant Restoration Corporation, dedicating herself to social and community development. Soon, her sharp intellect and writing voice would take her further. She compiled and edited Thomas Jefferson, The Man, His World, His Influence in 1973, a collection celebrating one of America's founding figures. In 1976, she authored America in 1876, The Way We Were, a window into the past that reflected her deep love of history. Throughout the late 1970s and early 1980s, she became a vibrant freelance journalist, writing for New York Magazine, The New York Times Magazine, Esquire, Atlantic Monthly, and Parade. Her work radiated passion, intellect, and courage. By the mid-1980s, she joined the Los Angeles Times as a contributing editor before taking on her most defining role at the Washington Post. It was here that Lally's brilliance truly unfolded. As senior associate editor, she immersed herself in foreign affairs, conducting interviews that few could ever secure. She became known for opening doors to the most private chambers of world leaders, sitting face-to-face with those whose decisions shaped nations. Courage in conversations with the powerful. Lally Weymouth's interviews were not ordinary conversations. They were historic moments captured through her calm persistence and piercing questions. In 1984, she achieved what seemed impossible, an exclusive interview with Saddam Hussein, the first he ever granted to an American journalist. That marked the beginning of a lifetime spent bridging divides and offering readers unfiltered glimpses into the minds of world leaders. She spoke with Muammar Gaddafi in his desert tent, sat across from Brazil's Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva at the dawn of his presidency, and interviewed Pakistan's Benazir Bhutto just 2 weeks before her tragic assassination in 2007. Each encounter carried an air of destiny, as though history itself had chosen her to capture these voices before the world shifted. She interviewed presidents of Egypt, including Hosni Mubarak and Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. She conversed with Jordan's King Abdullah II and both Hafez and Bashar al-Assad of Syria. Every Israeli prime minister since 1981 opened their door to her, from Shimon Peres and Yitzhak Rabin to Benjamin Netanyahu. Even in the 2020s, long into her career, she continued her relentless pursuit, interviewing Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky on the eve of war, a reminder of her tireless spirit and relevance. Her work in 2016 and 2017 was nothing short of extraordinary. She traveled across continents, interviewing South Korea's Moon Jae-in, Italy's Paolo Gentiloni, Estonia's Kersti Kaljulaid, Lithuania's Dalia Grybauskaite, and Kurdistan's Masoud Barzani. She spoke with Colombia's Manuel Santos, Myanmar's Aung San Suu Kyi, and Taiwan's Tsai Ing-wen. Presidents from Brazil to Peru trusted her with their stories. Through these encounters, she gave the world understanding in moments of crisis, providing rare glimpses of humanity behind political titles. Personal life, love, family, and strength. Beyond her professional brilliance, Lally lived a life full of personal joys and struggles. While still a student at Radcliffe in 1964, she married architect Jan Weymouth. Their marriage, though ending in divorce in 1969, gave her 2 daughters who carried her legacy in their own ways. Catherine Weymouth would go on to lead the Washington Post as publisher from 2008 to 2013, while Pamela Alma Weymouth embraced writing, contributing to the Huffington Post. Through her daughters, Lally's voice continued to echo, reminding the world of the unbreakable bond between family and storytelling. Her life, too, became part of history's narrative. In the 2017 film The Post, she was portrayed by Alison Brie, a cinematic nod to the indelible role the Graham family played in shaping American journalism. Facing mortality with grace. On September 29, 2025, Elizabeth Lally Graham Weymouth's life came to a close. At 82, she passed away at her home in Manhattan after a battle with pancreatic cancer. The news struck not only her family but the countless readers and colleagues who had admired her courage, grace, and relentless dedication to truth. She left behind a net worth estimated at $3 million, but her greatest wealth was far less material. It lay in the pages of history she helped write and the countless voices she brought into the light. The weight of her legacy. To speak of Lally Weymouth is to speak of a woman who dared to step where others feared. She sought out truth not from safe distances, but by looking into the eyes of those who held power over nations. She carried the torch of her family's journalistic tradition, but she held it in her own unique way, bold, thoughtful, and endlessly persistent. Her story is one of resilience, a young woman scarred by her father's loss, who turned grief into strength. A journalist who refused to be confined by barriers, who crossed borders to capture the voices of presidents and revolutionaries. A mother who raised daughters to continue the work of telling stories. And above all, a human being who lived with dignity, intellect, and heart. In her passing, the world lost not only a journalist, but a witness to history, someone who gave us a deeper understanding of the complexities of power and the fragile humanity that lies beneath it. Elizabeth Lally Graham Weymouth will forever be remembered as a bridge between nations, a seeker of truth, and a soul whose light continues to inspire those who carry the pen after her.